Hi guys, it's Sarah from Peace, Love, and Stitches. Sorry, I had to put that down. Yeah, so we're coming back. It is a little bit into April, so this is somewhat a little late for March, but it is going to be my March stitching, what I've done and completed, and what I have been so far working on in April, and things that I may have completed there. I don't like it. I'm not blurry, am I? I hope not. Anyway, I'm doing this on my laptop. The green that you're seeing right here is a microphone, so we're trying that out to see if I can actually be caught better than the computer microphone, because if so, it'll work better than filming on a phone, which is fine. I don't look like I'm that blurry. That's good. Okay. So, little bit of a update here. Whipco. Whipco, I've kind of thrown that away. I was doing well until it started picking things that had similar colors, and that really bothered me. Sorry. My glasses feel like they're dirty. I feel like I'm blurry to myself. So, anywho, today is, if I didn't say this already, today is April 9th, 2022. It is Saturday. I'm everywhere. Oh, that was close. I bumped. I'm bumping things. I need to move a little bit. Anywho, Whipco is completely out of... I am taking it out of my monthly planner. I'm taking it out of the planner because I'm not doing it. It pulled Death by Cross Stitch, which is purple, and it pulled another project that was purple at the same time. So I finished one of those. So yes, we have a finish, a full finished, not like fully like framed or anything, but the stitching and everything is done. The only thing I haven't worked out yet is where to initial and put the year on it, because it's not going to, I don't want that to stand out, so I will get into that. Well, fast forward to now, when the April numbers came out, I think I wrote them down on the thing. Let's see. The April numbers came out. It was number 10 and 7. And number 10 was to do an old SAL piece that I had started way back when. I think it was in 2017, because it was when I also did the Halloween one. And it was a Christmas one, so I've got that put on my new rotation stuff, and it will get in there. But number 7 was more Death by Cross Stitch, and since I was already upset with that and not wanting to do it for March, I definitely was like, I'm not doing it right now. So, but fast forward to now, I kind of got a little put off with some stitching, so I kind of stopped and was trying to work out the way I wanted to do everything now, and I wound up watching a video, a YouTube video for books, films, and floss, or yeah, I think it's what it is, books, films, and floss. Is that who it is? I'm checking because I want to make sure I get it right. Come on. Oh no. I'm gonna get interrupted. I can already see this happening. Lost in Books, Films, and Floss. And he was doing a 5% rotation. So I was like, hey, that sounds like a good idea. And then I've got a few other pieces that at the time I was working on only paper. Well, I found a program that I can put them into on my tablet, and I'll get into that. And so I was like, well, I can only work these by page. So I had a 5% list and a by page list to rotate everything out. So far, for the beginning of April, it's actually working pretty well. Sorry, I'm listening out. It's Saturday. I'm in the house with other people, and I know I'm gonna get interrupted and have to leave. And it's kind of frustrating because I never know when that's gonna happen. And I hate that. So, that being said, let's try to get in this. So, the piece that I finished is His Name is Jesus. Here he is. So, I have to go in and wash this little blue spot off, but I did finish it. It was actually very, very good to do. I enjoyed it. I still have to do this one more time, just on different fabric and in different colors, which I have it. It's halfway done, so that will get finished this year and then hopefully framed and given to the recipients. So that was my finish. Let's see. I'll show you this one. This one is the you see an old end to that. Yeah, this is on an old project fabric that I just decided I wasn't going to use anymore or do anymore at the moment. This is the Cross Stitch Studio Mystery Stitch Along, and I have kind of slowed down a little bit. I was doing them relatively quickly and I've slowed down, so in April I've got the last page of May, or last page of March, wow, that I've got to finish, and then the new page that they just came out with, and I haven't even started it yet, but this is where we're at. So I've got to finish this, page right here, and it's relatively close, but I think it's about halfway, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm a little over halfway done with it, so I just have half left to do and I'll get it finished. And this is 1/1 half stitch on 32 count. For those of you who don't know, His Name is Jesus, I think, is 2/2 on 28 count. So that is that. We'll go with Death by Cross Stitch here. So I didn't get very far. I did do some on this, but I didn't get very far. This is my Death by Cross Stitch, and it is 1/2 on 40 count linen. I started it at the bottom and was working up. I don't know why I did that, but I did. So I have this very bottom corner page finished, and I have the page above it halfway done. It is also done in a purple silk from Silks for You. I bought a hank of it. Going forward, I don't know really why I chose purple at the time. I thought it would be really pretty. I should have chosen green. Green is my favorite color, and I don't know why I chose purple. However, we're sticking with purple. I am going to do all the backstitched parts in black, though, because I think that would make it come out really well. So there is that. You'll be seeing this again fairly soon. It is on my rotation for 5%, because we're going to try to get it done. Let's see. The next thing that I worked on in March, I worked on Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'm gonna take it out, or at least remove part of the cue snap. So if you follow me on Instagram, jeez, got it on there real good. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I got halfway done on this and then it sat for a minute because I didn't know my fabric is the right size. So this is where we're at right now. And I actually had to go, I couldn't go down because I was only gonna have like, it would have ended like right here, and that was a little too close for comfort for me. And I measured, I put in the right size, when I put it in a fabric, when I put it in a fabric calculator, I did do the right size for a 3-inch seam allowance on all sides. However, that is not how it's coming out. I don't know why. So I actually had more space to the side of it because it's supposed to be a photo progression all the way down, kind of like photo booth. And so I decided I'll still have less on this side than I will on this side when I finish, but it'll be like 2 inches versus like 1.5 inches, which I was not thrilled at all about. So I, once I figured that out, I put it back in my Q-snap, and as you can see, I have finished 2, and I am just going to not stitch the 5-stitch frame that would happen on this side originally, and it'll butt it up to where it's supposed to be, but I have to add in a 5-stitch frame border across the top, which is not confusing. It works, and so I've actually put in a good bit on it. I was really excited to get to this red. So that was really nice, but I have gotten a good part of his face in there. So I did do that in March. Let me get him all the way back on here so that when I pick him up again, I don't have to try to do that again. And yes, I do leave him in my Q-snap because I pick him up whenever I feel like it. This is 2 over 1/10 stitch on 25 count for anyone who is wondering. The pattern is called Mickey and Minnie BW. It's from Zana Cross Stitch on Etsy. This has been the best thing I have ever stitched. This is the only full coverage piece that I have over halfway done. I feel so happy about myself having it over halfway. It's going to be really hard. It's also on my 5% rotation. It's going to be really hard to stop stitching this after 5% because 5% is going to go like that for this one, as you do when you do half stitch. For those of you who don't know, most of my projects and in the near future are half stitch for a purpose of not necessarily going faster, but because I have such a vast amount of patterns and I'd like to stitch as many of them as possible, and with them being so large, because I love full coverage, as you can already attest to and witness to that fact. Yeah, I just want to be able to do as many as I can and get them done, not necessarily any faster. Sorry, my wrist really hurts right now. It needs to pop. But if I do half stitch, I'm doing half the work unless I feel like I want to take a little longer. If I don't, then if I want to take a little longer on it, I may do it full cross. I do have full cross projects, so don't feel like I don't do that, because I do. I have some. So in case you're curious what this one looks like when it's completed, or what it is supposed to look like when it's done, it's supposed to look, wow, oh wow, I gotta dim it down maybe. Does that work? Is that the way it works? Yeah, that's sort of how it works. I'm catching a glare, but you get the idea. That's what it's supposed to look like when it's done. I could have gotten that. Now I can't find my port. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're all straws today. That's what it's supposed to look like when it's done on that one. Then I worked on Freebie Maui Princess. That's a Heaven and Earth design as well. It was not supposed to happen, but I was so bored and avoiding doing Death by Cross Stitch that I was like, yeah, we're gonna work on it. So that is her. It's Heaven and Earth designs. Sorry about the glare. There's not a lot I can do about it. I'm trying to avoid it. That's her. I did actually finish a page on her, so that's exciting. She is in my new rotation. She's on a big frame. So I did finish this page down here. And I did work a little bit up here and a little up here as well. So I put in a good amount of stitching on her, but I mainly finished this page down here. So the idea with her is to, we're going to fill this entire space before I scroll her up in the frame. My phone just bit the dust. So, did her. Some of these I can't remember if I worked on in March or not, but I think I did. So I'm going to show you these as well because I did work on them. Next one I'm going to show you is Freebie Harmony by, it's another Heaven and Earth design. Maui Princess is 1/1 on 25 count. So she's a 1/1 project. Freebie Harmony by Quick and Quick, whoever that is, I don't know. On Heaven and Earth Designs, it's still on there. This is what it should look like. Haha, fun. Games on, jokes on you. You get to surprise. Okay, that's what it will look like, more or less. It's still a little blown out with the light colors. This is where I'm at. Hey, look at that. This is where I'm at. Joke's still on you guys and on me, apparently. This is where I'm at. So, yeah, this is the fun part about this fabric. Is way too big. So, funnily enough, this is the width of this fabric, or the width of this project. I have like half of this fabric left, which is amazing. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I can put over there, because, yeah. We're gonna put something else on this side of this fabric, which should be awesome. Like, depending on what it is, it could be a mini from Heaven and Earth Designs, because this is a 28 count 2/1/2 stitch, and if I take off, I'll have to calculate it. If I take off about a 3-inch here, which would be roughly about where my narwhal is. No, it may not be a mini. It could be something else though. It'll be usable fabric. I'm not gonna waste it. Nuh-uh. But I did start this one in, get it together. I started it in diagonals, and I have since then really moved away from that. I like stitching. Gosh, it is so bumpy. Like, I can tell that my my tension is all weird in some areas because I've just learned about this, and that's why I don't like doing half stitch on 28 count anymore, is because my tension is so weird throughout the whole project. It creates like this weird bumpiness in your fabric, but it should come out when I wash it. But I have learned that I enjoy stitching it by page and sort of by column because I don't really get lines. I've never, well, I can't say I've never gotten lines. I have gotten column lines before, but I have since then figured out that problem, and I don't get that anymore. I generally get the bumpy tension issue. That's what I see. But yes, this is Freebie Harmony, and that's also on the 5% rotation. The next one that I believe I worked on is this is a map of Middle Earth. So there's this huge thing about copyright infringement, blah blah blah. Well, I bought this off of Etsy before dealing with all that. Even with Mickey and Minnie, there's this huge thing about copyright infringement, all that kind of stuff. I'm one of those people that if it's something that makes you happy, do it. That's why I don't feel like it's a big issue to get in touch with an artist about taking a photo and making a pattern from it for yourself. If you're selling it, that's one thing, but if you're just doing it purely for your sole enjoyment, I don't feel a huge piece of guilt over that, as some people do. That's just my opinion, because it's for me, it's not for anybody else. So this is the first page of this map of Middle Earth. I finished this page once upon a time on the 28 count 1/1, and I didn't like how tiny it was. I thought, in my head, I sat there and went, this is a map. It's supposed to be big. So it's being done, restarted. I restarted it, and the reason I haven't gotten further on it is because I had already stitched this part once. So I feel like once I get through this page again and get into an area where I haven't stitched any on it, it'll probably move a little bit better. But this is done 2/1 full cross on 18 count, and that is also another issue that I hate. I'm not a fan of 18 count. So I have one project that is on 18 count that I'm okay with. Oh, it's over there. I gotta get that because I worked on that. But it's not huge. This will be big. That is not gonna be big. So some of them I'm okay with on 18 count. I've kind of moved away from 18 count and prefer the higher count fabrics of like 25, 32, and 28. I do have a full coverage that I was just curious about it, and I tested it on 22 count hardanger, and I can still do 1/1 full cross on it, and I really like that. The coverage is nice. It's not light, and I don't see the fabric through it. Of course, what I am doing on it is it's an ivory color, so that kind of helps, especially with the colorations in it. I didn't work on it last month, so I'm not going to show that. Also, it's kind of buried. So there is that. But I did find that I liked the coverage of that better, and I liked that sizing better than the 18 count. So while I'm thinking about it, because it's only a little stretch, I did work on this. This is a pattern that I made myself. It's from a photo of my grandparents. I'm not going to take it out of the hoop because I have been working on it here and there, and my goal is to, this is one of the patterns that's on my page completion rotation. So I have finished one whole page and more than a half a page. It's a picture of my grandparents when my grandmother graduated high school, and my grandmother and my grandfather are in it. My grandfather is deceased, so he has passed. I think he's been gone 5 years now, and I was originally doing it as a gift for my grandma, and then she got remarried. That big shocker. My 82, 83 year old grandma got remarried. So that whole situation was a little weird. I did show her a snippet of it because I got her face done in this photo, and I wanted her to see it and see if she recognized what the picture was. Now she's all about, are you gonna give it to me? Is it mine? I'd like you to finish it before I die. And I'm just like, oh gosh, what did I create? I created a monster. But this is the photo, or this is the where I've gotten. So I have her face is done. It's a little bit pixelated, but it's not meant to be viewed so up close. So this is really where it's interesting. This is a floral couch. Floral couch. Oh, it's so good that you can actually see the little flowers. I can see the flower pattern now. I wasn't actually seeing it very well. However, this is so neat. So this is my grandmother. That was loud. I'm so sorry. I toppled my microphone. Oops. Let's try that again. Wow. Now we're all crooked. How does that even happen? Okay. So, this is my grandmother. My grandpa's hand is actually right there because he had his arm around her. So I got to do that. But he will be over in this next page. So I just have a little bit left here and then it'll be done with its time up. Also, neat thing was this, I don't know if I had extra thread on that one. This is, I decided to try this, and I don't really know if I like it. I like it for smaller projects. I think it would be better for a little bit smaller than this one. This is a stitch bow binder for projects, and I actually have some more inserts, but I don't have enough of the bow like holders for it. So I mean, it works. I don't think I would ever do it again, but for small projects works very nice. Sorry, I don't have a readily available picture of them to show you, but maybe I do. Let me see if I can unlock you. See here. There you go. It's getting warm in here. It's a cool day outside in the sunny south, but my little room heater that's heating me up right now is about to melt me. While that's loading. What else can I work? What else did I work on? I didn't work on. No. Where are you? I did work on. So I had started at the end of March is when I started my 5% rotation, and I did this one that I'm about to show you. I've already since rotated her out. I did complete the 5% on her. Whoa. And that is Cinderella by Tilton's Craft. Now this is the original like Disney Cinderella. It is not any of the other ones, but that is what she looks like. If you can see her, it's a little dark. There's a lot of 939 in there, but I did, when I figured out what I wanted to do and I got my rotation all worked out, because I am doing it in my projects in alphabetical order amidst everything, and so now on my rotation there are 13 projects that I have listed right now. Yeah, that's a lot, but I missed one, so there's actually 14. And I think I should make like a whip parade just to show you all of them next time. Anywho, this is where I got the 5% actually let me complete this top page, and then I started working over on the next one, and I got her. I was working in her hair, so there's her hair over here, that's her bun, but I actually finished that first full page, which I thought was excellent because that is a lot of 939. So she's not really big, and she's on 1/128 count, I believe. I'll tell you, I know it's 1/125 count. It's 1/125 count. My grandparents is 2/118 count. Here's that photo, in case you're curious. Wow, you can't really see that all the way that way. In case you're curious, that is the picture. That is my grandmother and grandfather. I'm sorry if my sound keeps getting louder and not louder from me moving forward and coming back. That's the only way I can do it. So yes, the 5% rotation I completed. Cinderella, her last day was on the 6th, and she got to 10%. So she started at 5 and she got to 10, and that puts me at my next project, which she started at 8%, and this is Minnie Cozy Christmas by Donna Gelsinger. It's 2/1 half stitch on 18 count. I've been working on it a little bit today, so this is also one of those projects that I started doing. I actually started this last year, so this is pretty neat. This is a pretty recent one. It's also one that is, my tension is all over the place and it's really bumpy, except, whoa, these guys back here for a minute, except that I discovered over here how to make it not bumpy, and it's actually working really nice right here. So since let me fold this a little bit so we're not draping everywhere. So for now, whenever I'm working on it, I'm going to be trying to get through all these park threads. I like to park, but I feel like if I'm doing them on half stitch on 28 count, it kind of has to be a little bit a mixture of cross country and parking for me to get my tension better. But I originally, whenever I pulled it out, because I pulled this out on the 6th and worked a little bit on it, not too much, I started in here a little bit trying to fill in, and then I said no, I'm not doing very well there, so I moved up here and went this way, and then I said I really want to get to this wreath and work on this wreath. So I got all the way to the wreath and have been working on it, and I'm hoping to have the wreath done before I reach the end of my 5% stitching. If I don't, I may keep it out and finish the wreath a little bit, or finish it if it's really, really close. If it's not super close, I'll just move on and go to my next one. So this is my rotation paper. I don't know if y'all really saw that right there. No, that's my rotation. So I'll have to do a whip parade so you guys know what stuff I'm working on. But before I get into that and tell you what's all on there, there was a new start that happened this month. It is another stitch along. It's a free stitch along that is through a Facebook group called Free Cross Stitch Patterns by VISA, VISA. and it is a picture of the One Ring for Lord of the Rings. That looks so good. So I started it, and I'm about halfway done with this first page. It's been super fun to stitch. This is 2/1 half stitch on 25 count. It's been loads of fun. I have that pattern and my grandparents and another pattern that I'm doing, that I also am doing, the one that's on 22 count. I have it loaded into the Markup RXP app, and it actually lets me see those, whereas I couldn't really load my grandparents or this other one into Pattern Keeper. I could have loaded the Lord of the Rings into Pattern Keeper, but I like it better in the markup one. I think that's a little weird, but I do. I like the Lord of the Rings in the markup better than I did the Pattern Keeper. Anywho, so the 5% rotation. So I have to add one to this. So it would originally go this. All my projects are in alphabetical order. If it had the word mini or supersize on it, which I don't have a supersize started yet. I have two, by the way. I have one that should be supersized, but it wasn't from Heaven and Earth Design, so it's big as one. But I deleted out those words so that I would have them at different places and it wouldn't all land in one spot, because I have learned one thing about myself: most of my projects start with an M or a C. So when I redo this, because I've got to add in that one I left out, it would originally start with Beloved from Heaven and Earth Designs. Most of these are HAEDs. There's Minnie, Chocolate, Chocolate, and More Chocolate, Cinderella, Cozy Christmas. Death by Cross Stitch is not full coverage, but I felt like 5% was a good space for it. Because I feel like I get really bored with one color very quickly, so 5% should go super fast on that. Harmony is number 5, Maui Princess number 6, Mickey's Coffee is a 99-cent pattern from Etsy from Xana Cross Stitch. Y'all probably have seen it. 8 is the Mickey Minnie. 9 is the Middle Earth Map. 10 is Moth to a Flame. 11, Rainbow Celebration Fairies. So 12 is Stained Glass Disney Heroes, which is also from Xana Cross Stitch. And 13 is Water Dragon, which, so out of all of that, all the HAEDs are Beloved, Mini Beloved, the Chocolate, 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 Cozy Christmas, Harmony, Maui Princess, Moth to a Flame, Rainbow Celebration Fairies, and Water Dragon. That's 8. Wow. That's 8 HAEDs that I've actually worked on. And I have 9. It's not on here, but I have 9. It's a paper when it's really old. It's from Jessica Galbraith, who's not even on there anymore. And I have the hard copies. I have 2 of hers, but I have one that is half done. Oh, I should finish that one. Anywho, that is a whole nother topic for another day. My page completion one, so that's 8 working HAEDs though, that are relatively in the 5% to 10% completed already category. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Dude. I'm not even gonna, whatever. Yeah, that's a lot. The page completion rotation was just something I came up with, and I have 4. I'm only doing 4 at a time in that area, just because I feel like if I do more than that, I'll get bogged down, because I'm going to do a 1 page rotation one, and then the 5% at the same time, which, so Right now it's kind of difficult. I'm trying to finish my Lord of the Rings page before I pick up one from the page rotation, because that one page comes out once a month, I believe. So if I finish that one, then I have the rest of the month to do that. And when I finish that page, then I can go elsewhere. I've also got to put in time for the mystery stitch along, which I'm trying. I have a stitch goal that I reach daily on the Lord of the Rings. It was 360 to finish it in 15 days, but I bumped it up to 400 just because I wanted to stitch longer on it. Anywho, the page completion rotation is Anubis, Aztec Warrior, Grandparents, and a Lakeside Christmas stitch along. So Aztec Warrior is a Gecko Rouge, which is the only Gecko Rouge that I have, but because I purchased it way back when they were only paper patterns, that's all I've got as a paper pattern. I have tried in putting it in by taking a picture of it. I don't like that. I couldn't figure it out. I may have figured it out since then, but I'm not sure. I'll have to play with it a little more. And I know I could go back and, because it's still one that they actively sell, that I could ask for a PDF of it. I just don't want to spend any more money on it. That's just the way that I'm thinking about it right now. So I'm more than halfway through one page on it. It's just hard to get into it with it being paper. I'm gonna figure it out though. Anubis is on the 22 count, and I've started it. It's the second time that I started it, because I originally started on the 22 count doing 2/1 full cross, and it was too bulky. But I picked it out, restarted it, and I have one column and a partial column of the first page done. However, that should go a whole lot faster since I can get it in the Markup RXP app. My Grandparents are obviously in there, and then the Lakeside SAL, I have it on the bed. I'm not very far on it right now, but when I say page, I'm just going to work that as completing one part of it, fully completing it. And when I say fully, I mean backstitch and all. So the first time that it comes in, because it'll come in right after my Grandparents picture page is done, I'm going to complete the backstitch in the first room because I have it halfway done, and I think I'm going to try to do the second room and all the backstitch in it, so that way I'll have the two parts finished, because I would originally have finished stitching the second part and done all the backstitch and then moved on. So that's how I'm going to work that. But yes, I think that the way it's going to work, because of course I will probably be adding a couple more full coverages in. So this is not a set in stone like amount of projects. It's a good amount of projects, but it's not set in stone. There will be more, but I'm hoping to at least move them along all at the same pace a little bit, and this way everybody gets a little bit of attention. There's no one project that is getting more than the other, and they will all relatively be finished around the same time. I say that because there's obviously some that will be finished before others, because there are half stitch ones and full cross stitch ones, and there are regular size charts and minis and super sizes that will be thrown in there, since I am wanting to get those done. Since then, I did have fabric for both of my super sizes, but I'm repurposing, because I started, I'm very rambly, but this is awesome. I started supersized Once Upon a Fairy Tale on 28 count 1/1, but I'm ripping it out. I'm taking out all of that I have done, which wasn't a lot. It was like 600 stitches, so it wasn't really a whole lot. I'm going to repurpose its fabric for some other projects. I'm hoping I can get maybe 2 minis on there, if not 3. I'm banking on it being just 2, which I'm fully okay with. If that's the case, I'm gonna take it and just pick the 2 that I want, and I'll have the fabric put away for those. And I'm wanting to do my super sizes, and anything that is super size that is very large in size is going to be done. Excuse me, my throat's very tickly. I'm talking a lot. Anything that is very large in size is going to be done on 32 count 1/1 half stitch, because the coverage is there. It's perfectly fine. It will kind of squish it down a little bit and make it a little bit more manageable, and that will make it a little bit more easy to frame later. I think minis, depending on how I want to do it, I will either do them 2/1 half stitch on 25 count, or they'll be 1/1 full cross on 28 count. Regular size charts, it's a toss up between doing 1/1 full cross on 28 count or 1/1 half stitch on 32 count. It just depends on how I feel. QS's could be 1/1 on 22 count or 2/1 on 25 count half stitch. Same thing with store keeps, 1/1 22 or 2/1 25 with half stitch. It really will depend on my mood, but that is my spectrum that I'm willing to work in. That all being said, I think that's everything that I have covered for March and some of the ones that are being worked in April. So what's coming up in what will be worked on in April is Cross Stitch Studio Mystery Sal, Lord of the Rings, Cozy Christmas, followed by Death by Cross Stitch, because I am almost done with the 5% on Cozy Christmas. So Death by Cross Stitch will come out, and then after Death by Cross Stitch will be Harmony. So I look for those to make an appearance this month. And my grandparents' picture hopefully will get its page done, and then we'll go into the Christmas stitch along. I'm wanting to possibly cut up one Heaven and Earth for my birthday, at least get the fabric and everything situated, and I can't decide if I want to do my mini cosmic marbles from Amy Stewart or the I can't think of what it is. It's one I just bought. Well, any one of the 3 new ones that I just bought, which is, of course, everything doesn't want to load now. So there's Doorway to the Stars from Josephine Wall, which I would love to do, the mini cosmic marbles, and I think this is Minnie. I don't remember. It's one of Amy Stewart's bookshelves, and it's like the states. Brain is having a moment. Give me a minute and I can tell you. U.S. Travel Shelf. Thank you. U.S. Travel Shelf. There's those 3. Or doing, and I mean, there's always the idea of that I can't decide if I want to do one of those 3 HAEDs or do one of my artists that I have, because I've bought 3 from them and then the rest are free that I have, so I don't know if I want to do one of those or if I want to do one of my charting creations, because I've never worked on one of those, or if I want to do one of my egg paint with needles, my pain-free crafts, or unconventional crafts. I have so many, I don't even know what I want to do. Those are the 3 main HAEDs. I'm probably going to do either the Cosmic Marbles or the US Travel Shelf. Those just seem to be my thing that I want to do, even though I have never worked a Josephine Wall project, and that's one of the ones that I really want to do. We'll see. That's all I have though, so I'm gonna go ahead and bow out now and just see y'all at the end of this month, hopefully on time this time. And actually I may do it right on May 1st. If I do it right on May 1st, then you'll get a real beginning of what's going into May and out, on its way out. Let's see. Yeah. On its way out for April, on its way in for May. That would be what I would do. I think that's what I'm going to do. So, expect to see me again on May 1st for the April. What happened in April and what's going to happen in May. And I will see y'all later. Bye.